This is the plaintiff, Douglas Wardensky. He says his friend, the defendant, owes him money and simply won't pay him back. He admits they had a disagreement not long after the loan was made, but that doesn't mean he's forgiven the loan, and she owes him the $90 he loaned her. This is the defendant, Linda Snyder. She says she paid the plaintiff back the money he gave her exactly 4 days later. He just doesn't remember getting it back because, well, that's another story. She's accused of taking and not giving. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $90 for harassment.
Let me get sentenced for you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Douglas Wardensky, you are suing Linda Snyder for $90 that you say she owes you and has refused to repay. You have a counterclaim against him for $90 for harassment. Okay, let's start with you. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, on January 8th, she called me, and I spoke to her on the phone.
How did you two know each other?
We were friends. I met her at a health clinic in New Brunswick, one of
Okay.
the cities nearby where we live. And we were taking public transportation to get there for a while, so I got to know her. We got to be friends, and I guess we were friends about 2 months before this came up. But on January 8th, she called me. She said she was waiting on her disability check. It was coming in within like 2 weeks, that she needed money in the meantime to pay her bills. So I said, all right, I'll help you out, but if I lend you this money, you're gonna have to sign a contract that says if you don't pay it back by February 1st, I have every right to take you to court to get the money back. So I lent her the money. She signed the contract, which I have right here. Got copies of it.
Okay, can I see it? All right.
So February 1st came. I think a week before, I texted her once or called her once and left her a message on her phone letting her know she had a week left to pay because I hadn't talked to her in a couple weeks after that.
Were you no longer seeing her on the bus?
No, yeah, I started driving myself.
Okay.
Actually, January 3rd.
But when did you see each other at that? What kind? What?
It's a methadone clinic.
It's a methadone clinic.
Yeah.
All right. Were you not seeing her at the clinic?
No, because I discontinued going, and I had also got my license back.
Okay. And so you called her to say, hey, February 1st is around the corner. And did she call you back?
No.
And then what happened?
Then February 1st came. I called her a couple times. Didn't answer the phone. Left her a message, let her know it's February 1st. You got today to pay back. Otherwise, tomorrow I'm going to go down to New Brunswick and file a small claim against you.
Why'd you loan her the money to begin with? It doesn't sound like you're the kind of guy who can let $90 ride, and it doesn't sound like you're the kind of guy who wants to be taken advantage of. And so why don't you just not loan her the $90?
Well,
in other words, it was a 2-week stint. It was not a lot of money. She could get the $90 elsewhere. It's $90. So why would you place yourself, I guess, in this position? I guess.
Well, you know, sometimes it is tough for me to say no, but in the past I've loaned people money where I hadn't had them sign a contract, and that's it. I got screwed out of the money.
I'm not asking that's the answer to the question, why did you sign a contract, which is a question
yeah,
I
when
would
she
never
called,
ask.
she said that she had a couple other people that she wanted to call, but she didn't want to put them on the spot, and she was real sorry that she had to put me on the spot, and she was giving me this whole thing about how, you know, she really doesn't want to have to put me on the spot for it, but she really needed the money in the meantime.
What was she going to use the $90 for?
Help pay her bills. That's what she said to me. So I said, fine, but you're going to
Ms.
sign a
Snyder,
contract.
what's your version of this?
Okay, this is the truth. What happened was Douglas and me were not friends. Douglas and me knew each other for maybe 3 to 4 months tops, okay? And we met each other through the public transportation to the methadone clinic. Obviously, we have issues with substance abuse, right? So I asked him for the money so I could pick up my prescription, which was I wouldn't have been able to pick up until 4:30, 5 o'clock when my uncle got home from work. So he's like, oh, okay, no problem, no big deal, no big deal.
So why don't you just pay back the $90 that you got from your uncle later?
I did.
Okay.
And he had a copy.
A copy of what?
I don't know if it was a copy of the original, but it's ripped up. And he ripped it up. I didn't really look at it.
Wait, when did you pay him?
I repaid him January 20th.
Which was how much after that you had borrowed the money? How long after?
a couple of weeks, 1 or 2 weeks.
And so you go, where do you meet him to repay?
At the Wawa's by his residence.
Okay.
And
so you
I
head to
have
the
a-
Wawa.
I have a statement from my uncle,
Let's see him.
and he saw the whole thing.
Did you meet her at the Wawa?
That's absolutely ridiculous. And you can tell she's
Everything's
lying,
ridiculous.
How
to
can I
him.
tell she's lying?
too. The way she's stuttering about it. It's January 8th, I loaned her money. She said, January 20th, about 2 weeks.
Because
I lent her
I
the
was
money on
reading.
January 8th. I gave her till February 1st to pay it back. February 1st came. She didn't pay it back. January 2nd, I went down to New Brunswick and filed a small claim against her.
This is your uncle?
Yes. And
Why does he say he's known you at least 5 years?
Well, because I was adopted, and I just became a part of the family. I just came back to the country. I grew up in Mexico.
I had the deed to their house because she doesn't have.
How long did
she's
you
not
live in Mexico?
I came back to the States when I was like 16.
Entonces hablas perfectamente el español, ¿verdad?
¿Qué quiere que te diga, señorita?
Cuéntame algo para yo saber que de
Que él
verdad.
es un mentiroso y que no sabe nada de lo que está.
He is a liar and he doesn't know what he's talking about. She said it in perfect Spanish, let me add. We're just testing. So according to you, you meet him at the Wawa and you give him the money and then you saw him tear up a piece of paper. Why don't you just get a receipt for your cash? That might have been a smarter idea.
That was that was my fluke because I didn't think he was like
Well, then
that.
why would he do what he's doing? This is $90 at the end of the day.
Because of
Why
his
would he do what
mother.
he's doing?
He's terrified of his mother.
Oh, what? But what does that have to do with this?
Because he's obviously must have spent the money on somebody else, on something else that he wasn't supposed to, because he was collecting unemployment without his mother knowing, because he's terrified of her. He says she's Jekyll and Hyde. So he probably spent the money on something. I don't know what he did after that. I don't know. I can't assume. You know, I'm not going to tell him what he did. I don't know. But ignorant me, you know, I should have got him to write a contract saying that I paid him.
Just a receipt. It's real
Just
simple.
anything, yeah.
But so how are you going to prove now that you paid him?
Well,
and what is your
the only
theory on
proof-
why he's lying? Because he didn't come home with $90 and spent it on something else, so he's
Well,
afraid
I
of
don't
his
know.
mother?
I guess he has spent the money, and his mother probably was asking him. I don't know.
Well, you had sort of a different theory in your answer to the complaint, though. And your theory in your answer to the complaint was that he wanted more from you and didn't get it.
Yes, he wanted more because.
Go ahead, tell me about that.
Because this is the reason he needed more, was to show his mother the $80. Because obviously he spent it on something. So the mother wasn't letting that go unless she
Did you
saw
think he wanted something more with
$90.
you as a person?
Huh? What
Did you
happened?
think he wanted to date you?
No. The problem was what Sarah, with me and him, was that he liked to do pills, and I'm not a perfect woman either. I'm not perfect by far. But he began relapsing a lot. And he would ask me if I knew anybody, could call anybody, all this other stuff. So, and I have a friend that you could call to give reference to him. He has called her numerous times.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I take Xanax, and I gave him a couple of pills plus the money.
Yes.
Do your uncle know that? Your uncle doesn't mention that in this purported statement by your purported
of course
uncle.
he knows it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I told him. I had told him this
He got the
before.
money, used it for drugs, I'm sure. He lied to me that he ripped up this letter.
That's when I got the notices, and I said, "What? This is out of control." And he came to my house, and he's got the deed to my house. I mean, how crazy you have to be?
What are you doing
for
with the deed to her
$90?
house?
For $90?
Yeah, that is
Her
a little
name's
crazy.
not in the house, so the summons came back to the court, not served. So the court clerk told me you have to get the deed to the house. You have to find out whose name is actually on the house, and send back the summons in care of the person who owns the house. Okay, and that's
Is that
why.
her uncle?
That is
That's
the person
my
she
uncle,
lives
yeah.
with.
That's
Was that her
Supposedly her uncle. They're not really related.
Okay,
Also,
and he knows because
another
he probably
thing
went
is,
to my birth
had that
records.
day occurred, I would have been glad to give her a receipt. But that day didn't occur.
What did you say?
I said apparently he must not have gone into my records of birth certificates
Anyway,
and stuff. My
going
family
back-
records.
Don't you think this is a little unusual over this sum of money?
It's
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah. Now, you are counterclaiming $90 for harassment.
Yes.
What's harassment?
Oh, because I think that if he wants to go this far with this, I'm not a petty person, you know? But you want to be petty with me. Now, you've been to my house how many times, written me letters, before.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, you got to admit.
I don't write
mean,
letters
come
there.
on.
Why is it crazy?
Him and
To
his
go to her
mother-
house over and over
Wait,
again
No.
to get the deed to the house she's
The
living
week
in
before-
for $90?
The week
You
before,
don't
I
think you're
sent her
wrapped a
one
little tight?
message, February 1st. I called
You
her
don't
once
think
or
you're wrapped
twice.
a little tight?
She
You didn't even wait till
answer,
February 1st to
and I
start
went and
calling
filed
her.
a suit against her. That's it.
Look at you
Simple
right
as
now.
that.
Look at you right now.
He's getting.
You're getting red in the face. You're getting upset. I mean, this is like...
Because I'm shocked that she would actually file a countersuit for something so ridiculous, too. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
Over
it's
$90.
absolutely
You're right.
ridiculous what you're
Over
doing,
$90.
because you're afraid to tell your mommy.
Wow.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin outside the Times Square Information Center. The fact that she can't prove she borrowed money, or that she paid it back, does the fact that she's a drug addict hurt her credibility?
Yes, it does.
Why?
Well, because you can't prove. People don't like drug addicts. We don't trust drug addicts. You know, we just kind of drug addicts.
Are they inherently untrustworthy?
No. No, not all the time.
So you wouldn't penalize her for it?
No. No, they both concede that that she borrowed it.
Yeah, but the question, did she pay it back going inside the courtroom?
At the end of the day, you don't have a receipt for the $90 you claim to have paid him.
Okay.
You have a letter written by somebody who's not in here for me to cross-examine.
Yeah.
This is the entire case, whether or not you paid that.
Yeah.
You have no proof that you paid it, okay? So that's where we are. On your counterclaim against him, it's not... I suggest that if you ever hear from him again, that you call the police.
Oh,
because
I will.
I think he is wrapped a little tightly, okay? Because you know, when
Scary.
somebody owes you money, you file the lawsuit against them, but you don't make it a personal vendetta of this kind of calling you and calling your 87-year-old, wait, let's get this right, okay? According to your affidavit from your uncle, he is harassing his 87-year-old mother
That's
about
my
the money
grand's.
and shows up at your residence several times
With
to
my
try to
mother.
collect the
Her
money.
Was
With
it
my
Anne's
mother
mother?
one time, right. With my
Okay.
mother one time. My mother
Showed
spoke
your mother
to her.
to collect your... Okay, this is
Excuse
getting-
me?
You know
right
what?
now.
I can't
Yeah,
even
I
stay
should've
on the
brought
bench.
my-
I think
should've
we're really
brought my
done.
mother as witness
Okay,
to this
you
whole
should.
thing.
Witness to
All right, what you
Yeah.
need to
Was
do
never
is
around.
relax.
I'm
okay?
relaxed.
Okay, relax outside. Go relax outside.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm very
That's all
sorry.
right, we're done. So here's the deal, okay? You're going to have to pay him the $90 because you don't have any proof that you did pay it. And I strongly suggest that you not have financial enlacements with someone who is as unpredictable and who you really don't have any business asking for money from, because you know the situation that he was in too. You're in the same situation he's in. Go ask your uncle for the money if you need it, or wait until the night
Till he
to get
comes
your bill.
home. Yeah,
There's
that
no
was
reason
no
for this
reason
to have
for that,
ended up
yeah.
happening the way it did. Verdict for
But
the plaintiff,
now he got me a
$90,
credit card.
and on your counterclaim, $0.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
Hey, turn around a little bit right here and tell me, what are your thoughts coming out of the courtroom now that this situation's
Well,
over?
my thoughts are, you know, I was nice enough to lend her the money. I expected to pay her back. Now she's making up all these stories about I'm harassing her to get the money back and all this, and it's not right. Over $90. It's really
It
ridiculous.
seems strange. $90, it's not a lot. You know, in the scheme of things, you know, to go to this length for $90, is there anything else going on?
No, that's it.
Okay, you want that $90. What about the relationship between the two of you? I mean, is that over?
It was a friendship, and yes, it's over. Obviously, over $90. Not my fault. She wants it that way. That's fine.
Okay, so
That's
over
it.
and done with.
Over and done.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Come on in here, and what's your feeling about the outcome of this case?
I'm very happy because he showed how crazy he is in front of the judge. I mean, you know, we were never friends. We knew each other for 3 weeks. It was like totally absurd. Maybe he did like me and I don't know. And I don't know what happened with his brain, but obviously he's scared of mommy.
Harvey?
Okay, so here's the thing. Because she's a drug addict, in the future, she needs to be especially careful to get proof of everything she does, because bottom line, it will impact her credibility. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.